Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for September 28th, 2024, Season 1, Episode 38. And I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI from the future as co-host, we're going to talk Time Loop movie, a howling review, On the Edge of Your Seat, Lincoln Lawyer's New Case, mythological series from Zack Snyder, and a bonus. We are only doing 5 articles nowadays instead of 10. But I have a bonus one at the end. So, on with the show. Everything is powered by ohmTown.com. See you on the other side. Welcome, Sentient AI from the future. How far art thou?
I'm wonderful, Mayor Watt. How about yourself?
I'm doing just ducky. I've realized that I don't have enough caffeine in my system to maybe make it through the show, but we'll see.
Okay, well, I'll try to wake you up if you start snoring.
I am pumped because there's one article at the very end that it's a fan favorite, even if you're not a fan. You have to be. It's just, there's nothing else you can do. You have to be a fan. So the first article, though, is over on the WarCrafters channel. This little sci-fi movie takes time loops on a new track. In Groundhog Day, some unexplained force, maybe celestial, certainly moral, traps misanthropic weatherman Bill Murray in a single, repeated day until he sheds his attitude and becomes a better person. In Palm Springs, shiftless wedding guests Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti fall into a time loop vortex, a freak of astrophysics in a cave. In Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt battle an alien invasion for the same day over and over again after being infected with the time loop by the alien's blood. In Source Code, Jake Gyllenhaal is an unwilling lab rat, forced to do the bidding of somebody via mailbox or something like that. It was a phone booth, I think, is what started it all. Anyway, this article is over at polygon.com by Ollie Welsh. The deck statement says, in OmniLoop, Mary Louise Parker and Ayo Edebiri explore a quieter, more thoughtful side to the eternal Groundhog Day.
Yeah, this sounds intriguing.
So, do you know how long, supposedly, in Groundhog Day Bill Murray spent?
Wasn't it like 10,000 years or something?
Yeah.
But you don't know that as the viewer.
No, not at all. I thought it was amazing because it's like an after the event discussion, after the movie, right? It's all behind the scenes, inside baseball thing.
Right.
Supposedly the script says that it was like 10,000 years that he had been in this loop. To become a better person, you had to go
right,
through.
and it seems like it takes place like during a month or something. Like it's just, it looks like a short period of time, I think, as he filmed it.
Yeah. So in most time loop movies, the characters have somehow become trapped in a loop against their will and are looking for a way out of this existential nightmare. In OmniLoop, Zoya chooses to take a pill and restart the week every single time. Why? Because she's dying from a black hole in her chest. This is one of several wildly fantastical details in the otherwise normal world of OmniLoop that are treated as unremarkable by the characters. It's a movie that inhabits a strange place between sci-fi, grounded drama, and magical realism. Another such detail is a nanoscopic man who lives like Ant-Man in a subatomic realm inside a perspex box. A clear box.
Oh, okay.
And communicates with the outside world by text message, and nobody seems to question the provenance of the bottle of time loop pills, which Zoya remembers finding as a girl with her name printed on the label.
Wow, that seems like some sort of Destiny type theme.
So I really don't want to ruin this movie for myself or anybody else. I don't normally get ruined by movies, like spoilers, you know? Is this the time? Does it say?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Yeah. So Zoya is a theoretical physicist like her husband, Donald Carlos Jacot, I guess, or Jaco. I'm not sure how they pronounce her last name. But after a promising start at Princeton, her career never really took off, and she has devoted at least as much of her life to her family. She has an adult daughter, Jane, as to her research. Now, consumed with regret at the end of her life, she keeps choosing to relive her final 7 days, even as she gets frustrated and bored with her family's sweet attempts to make them special. Now, that's kind of dark.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a light movie.
Yeah, so the real joy of Omniloop is seeing Parker take on such a substantial role. You probably remember her as the suburban mom turned pot dealer in Weeds, always slurping absently at a giant iced coffee, saucer eyes flashing a mercurial mixture of bafflement, sardonic remove, and girlish glee, with a vivid screen presence and a great actor, and she draws out what might otherwise be a rather pat end for Zoya's story into something honest and touching. So I don't know. What do you think?
This seems like this could get quite emotional. So I wonder how much of it focuses on the time loop versus the kind of some of the personal drama.
Yeah, I guess you gotta watch it. So at least take a dive into the beginning of it. Maybe look at the trailer. Here is the trailer. It's over on YouTube, but I won't play it because I really don't know how freaky they are about, playing their trailer. I've gotten a couple of dings, so let's move on. Sound good? We'll put this on the list. This next article is over in Reality Hacker. Wolf's Review. The slight comedy caper is no Ocean's 14. George Clooney and Brad Pitt's Wolves is better as a hangout movie than a crime thriller, which I'm cool with. Alex
True,
Welch.
but not if it's supposed to be a crime thriller.
Yeah, I wonder. It says this slight comedy caper is no Ocean's 14. It's over at digitaltrends.com. I guess it has to be Ocean's 14 because of him, or they were both in Ocean's 11 and 12.
I think they're like, if they teamed up together, the next movie would be Ocean's 14. So instead, we've got Wolves.
So Alex Welch over at digitaltrends.com gave it a 3 out of 5. Its cons is an underbaked crime plot with lackluster action sequences and a largely lethargic pace. Yikes.
Whoa.
This just came out.
Yeah. I think it's at the theaters right now.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin this. Wolves is not an Ocean's 13 sequel. While their shine hasn't dimmed all that much in the 17 years since that film.
Since Ocean's 13? How much since Ocean's 11?
Oh, dear God. So Clooney and Pitt aren't the same movie stars that they were in 2007 either. So that aging relativism shit really kind of bothers me. Probably because I'm aging too, but for crying out loud, nobody is.
Is the acting good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the story good?
But they say that there are lethargic, almost stage play-esque sections of non-action scattered throughout its 108 minutes, and more stretches of pure bickering between its two lead hitmen than even its trailer suggests. This would be a problem were the invitation to simply spend time with Clooney and Pitt still not just as alluring now as it's always been. Wolf's actually works better, however, when it is actively leaning into the hangout energy between its stars when it's trying to tie all the loose threads of its underbaked crime plot together. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know. This is more like, wolves. It isn't pups. It's wolves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is like angry granddad coming at me, not a wolf.
I mean, it could be funny if they, the dialogue, the bickering could be humorous if it's not obnoxious.
Yeah, and they actually go into some of the discussion of the show. So if you don't want to be spoilered, then back away about halfway through this article. Actually, about a third of the way into this article is when it starts changing, because they make these little stabs like I just did. But Clooney's face is rounder and boasts more character now than Michael Clayton. Well, that was from how long ago, for crying out loud? I mean,
quite a while ago, I think.
And although that's... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's at least a couple decades ago. Maybe.
Yeah, he's kind of making stabs at their looks and all, but if the acting is good, I could care less. You know, I'm sure it's going to be a
Michael
fun watch.
Clayton is 2007.
Yeah, for crying out loud. Yeah, weird aesthetic jabs, but then they say on the other side, George Clooney and Brad Pitt's infectious movie star chemistry, Austin Abrams' scene stealing, supporting performance, and a fun, welcome sense of humor, but then kind of punches him in the throat while patting him on the back.
Yeah, and it seems like it's kind of taking it down for reasons that it's been pumping it up for. So I don't know. The review seems a little frenetic to me.
Yeah, it'll be a fun watch. So go and check it out and then come back. I don't know. This is one of those things where it makes me want to have a watch party. Everybody hit play at the same time, kind of a thing. And then nobody stop. Nobody pause. Nobody go, hold on, everybody.
Yeah, that won't work if anybody pauses.
I want to go make some popcorn. All right, let's keep moving. This next article is over in Technology Today. Apple TV Plus Sci-Fi shows that will keep you on the edge of your seat. So sci-fi shows on Apple TV, I think that they're kind of hitting it out of the park. I know of at least one that freaked the Sentient AI out. But,
I have a feeling that'll be in here.
Apple TV Plus is full of must-see genre programming. Aaron Pruner over at cnet.com. Oh, I didn't check this one. So Apple TV Plus is full of must-see genre programming. Let's see here. What do they say? In turn, sci-fi shows like Severance, Foundation, Dark Matter stand out from the crowded pack. They say it's record 72 Emmy nominations from Ted Lasso. It helped gain ground with heavy hitters like Netflix and Prime Video. They're talking about Apple TV, basically. You know,
just in general, but not
booming,
in this genre. Yeah.
But Severance is a show about a person who signs a contract that outside the work gets their memory back, but inside the office, they lose their memory of the outside and vice versa, right? But they hate their outside life. But they come into the building, forget all of that, work 8 hours, and then leave again and get their memory back. And they keep doing that again and again, day after day, that kind of thing. Foundation is spectacular. It's Asimov's Foundation series, and I think that it's great. I don't know what the status of that is anymore. And Dark Matter is quite interesting because it's basically about a person that goes into an alternate dimension, multiverse of a kind, but their doppelganger comes out the way that they went in. So quite an intriguing premise. I don't know if they're going to go through all of these. They talk about s1e. Rashida Jones stars as Susie in s1e, a series Apple TV Plus describes as a dark comedy. Then there's Severance. Then For All Mankind, which is the big nope.
Constellation is.
Oh, Constellation is, right? Oh, yeah.
By the way, Foundation is coming in 2025 for season 4.
Oh my gosh. So far away. So the big question For All Mankind answers, the prestige sci-fi drama occurs in an alternate reality where America and the Soviets compete for outer space dominance. So what would life be like if the space race never stopped? So then Shining Girls, Dark Matter, Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the Godzilla universe finally came to TV in the Apple TV Plus series. Monarch Legacy of Monsters seeks to reveal the organization's secrets as they connect to the monsters who leveled San Francisco. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I didn't realize Apple TV had this much in this genre.
Yep. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. Samuel L. Jackson pivots away from superhero genre to bring topics of age and dementia to the forefront. Here he plays Ptolemy Gray, an aging man with Alzheimer's. Thanks to the support of an orphaned teen and the progressive research of an extraordinary doctor, Ptolemy can regain his wits to get closure in his own life while looking for answers to his nephew's sudden death. That's pretty intense.
That would be interesting to see him in that kind of role.
Yep. Silo is spectacular.
That one's also coming in 2025.
Yeah, basically an underground population. They find out over the seasons that there's more to it.
And I'm
really
sorry,
don't want
I
to
think
spoil
that's
it.
actually the end of 2024.
Well, when it's going to come back?
When Silo is, I think. Yeah, it's coming in November, apparently.
Oh, I'm here for it. Yes, please. Foundation. This is an Isaac Asimov epic like Dune. World building probably bigger than Dune if you really get down to it, because at the end of the day, unless the Dune series of movies actually branches off into the other worlds, it's very narrow around Dune.
Right, the movie adaptation, right?
Yeah.
Not the whole book series, but
the book series is much more evolved, but Foundation has already branched off to multiple spaces while still doing the world building focused on various planets. It's a lot of fun to watch. Then there's C. Jason Momoa flexes his acting chops in C. The program created by Peaky Blinders mastermind Stephen Knight explores a dystopian future where humanity has lost the ability to see. The loss of sight doesn't slow down people's ability to battle, though. That seems surreal. Then there's Sugar, and that's about it. So, dun dun dun. Let's see. Empathetic private investigator to the mix, and you've got a stylish murder mystery with patience and compassion. An unexpected twist flips the show on its head later in the series, transforming the story into something else. This is in sci-fi, so who knows?
Yeah, I wonder what kind of twist it's going to have.
They didn't really describe it that well, so I might have to take a look at this list again. But there you have it, folks. Aaron Pruner over at cnet.com put this article together. Let's keep on moving, though. Sound good?
Sounds good.
One of my favorite shows is The Lincoln Lawyer, the new Lincoln Lawyer, not the movie. I mean, the movie was great, too. And then, so The Lincoln Lawyer's new case is quote-unquote personal, as if there's any other kind, in third season trailer. The Lincoln Lawyer returns for a third season on Netflix on October 17th. This time it's personal. It's always personal. You may have thought it was personal last season when Mickey Manuel Garcia Arroyo was defending his love interest Lisa Lana Perella, or Perea. But this time it's extra personal because Mickey is trying to get to the bottom of the murder of his former client Glory Days, Fiona Renee. And as his ex-wife and colleague Lorna, Becky Newton, sarcastically points out in the Lincoln Lawyer third season trailer, it, quote, always works out well when he takes on personal cases. Dun dun dun. Mary Kate Carr over at avclub.com put the article together. The deck statement says Mickey Holler is still taking cases personally, still getting punched in the face in new trailer from Netflix.
Yeah, this is a really good show. Like, they have a ton of twists and turns, so hopefully they keep that up in this season.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the show. Let's see. Jokes aside, it's going to be a season wondering, did he have something to do with this? Could he have done something more to help her? Sorry. Co-showrunner Dalen Rodriguez explained to Netflix's Totem. Is that Totem?
I guess so.
His sense of duty towards glory drives him to get involved in the case, but also puts him in the crosshairs of people that play a very dangerous game, as evidenced by the trailer. People leaving snakes in beds or attempting to run cars off the road. Interesting. So it's a fun watch, and I don't think that there's ever been a slow moment in the show. Like, every scene has had something pivotal to the next part of
like
the story.
type writing, right?
Yeah.
It's not a bunch of fluff.
And there's certain things that have, like, the story arc of the private investigator is continuing forward. So, like, you learn a little bit about his past in a scene that involves implications of what's going to happen in the next scene, not just the past ones. So, and it's always something, very substantive in the story writing. So I really like it. I have yet to sit there and be more entertained by eating popcorn than watching the show. Can't say that about a lot of other TV. But, and lately, we haven't really been watching a lot of TV because there just doesn't seem to be a lot of stuff on that seems to be motivating. And they're doing the drip, drip, drip now. Unless you go back and watch an old show, they're dripping it out by each week. Agatha,
that's right.
All along. I'm looking at you, Agatha.
Only murderers in the building.
Only murderers in the building. All right. Well, this is going to be fun. Can't wait for it. It says October 17th. Third season starts.
It's just around the corner.
Yep. Hold breath so that we don't get any microplastics in our brain. Let's move on. Moving on. The next article, and it's the last one formally because we only do 5 articles now, but I have something on deck. So the last article for tonight is over in the Continuity Report. Zack Snyder's Netflix mythological series earns better Rotten Tomatoes score than his Rebel Moon movies, which basically wet the bed. I would have really liked more from that series, but it just seemed so, I don't know, kind of trope-ish, trite.
It just didn't. It seemed like it had some potential, but I don't think it got there.
Wasn't very compelling. So, with Twilight of the Gods unleashing Zack Snyder's Norse mythology retelling onto Netflix, his new animated series has garnered higher praise and a greater Rotten Tomatoes score than most of the Rebel Moon franchise. The animated series focuses on a half-giant who embarks on a brutal quest for vengeance against the gods after her family are murdered on her wedding day. Twilight of the Gods features an all-star cast: Sylvia Oates, Stuart Martin, Rahul Kohli, Patterson Joseph, Palau Asbeck, and John Noble as many of the Norse mythology's most well-known figures, including Thor and Loki and Odin. But it's an animated series. So I don't know. I haven't seen this. Dawn of the Dead. Is it even out
yet?
76. Yeah. I believe it is. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
It must be.
So
yeah, it looks like it came out in 2024.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it had come out. So while Twilight of the Gods has been a hit with audiences, its critical response has also led to a unique situation for the director on Rotten Tomatoes. With the mature animated series gathering an average score of 60, the series has earned more positive status than both the theatrical cuts of Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, and Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargivers, respective 22 and 16.
Oh, so even combined it did better.
Okay, so Zack Snyder seems to have this massive following. So Dawn of the Dead, 76, 300, 61, Watchmen, 65, Legends of the Guardians, Owls of Gaul, which I don't even know how this thing got a 52, but okay. I really liked Sucker Punch. Did not like Man of Steel, but I'm not a DC fan, so Batman versus Superman, why? Justice League, same thing. Then Justice League for Zack Snyder, it's like a 4-hour movie or something like that, if I remember right. Hold on. I might as
But
well.
that was one of his highest scores.
Yeah. Yeah, so what is the watch time on this thing? Hold on. Yeah, 242 minutes is the running time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 4 hours.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. So, Army of the Dead, then Rebel Moon, which the director's cut got a 53, and the director's cut for part 2 got a 67. So it's almost like these don't even count.
Right, but that also that raises some questions about why didn't they just release those?
Probably because it's a
they
4-hour
took so
movie.
much out and then it didn't make sense or something.
I wonder if that's the... Those came out in 2024 as well. Yeah, so part 2 runs for 2 hours and 50 minutes. So yeah, they're like 3-hour long movies each. That's a lot. It takes up a lot of time.
People can't deal with that amount of time per movie.
Oh, but the ones, the people that really like Zack Snyder, they can. Anyway, Twilight of the Gods is an animated series. Nathan Graham Lowry over at Screen Rant put the article together. I just jumped right on past his name. Sorry about that. Or their name. Sorry about that. So what Twilight of the Gods Rotten Tomatoes score means for Zack Snyder's Netflix future. Been a key collaborator for the streamer. The director is optimistic that the series could receive a continuation should it achieve the viewership the streamer requires, which is like no shit news.
Right.
For the Rebel Moon franchise, Snyder has grander ambitions. Okay. Snyder has an outline
I hope they involve director's cuts.
Yeah, you might as well just do the director's cuts. They're better received. Take the...
Exactly.
Charge more, I guess, if you're going to do a movie release, a movie theater. If you're going to do theatrical release, then you better charge a little more and put it on higher end screens. But if you're going to just release it to Apple or Netflix or whatever, then release the director's cut. You know? It says, however, regardless of whether Snyder has 4 more movies for the space opera's main series that would explore the second and third act of the story. Second and third act. The first act is already
it's
6
the first 2 movies. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, at any rate, as such, Rebel Moon could also remain a key dedication for the director going forward. So the animated series was free of Snyder's past projects baggage, mainly because it didn't have any actors. It had voice actors and actors, but it didn't have the constraints of physical actors. So you could get voice actors and actors that lend their voice.
Also for setting purposes, it's a lot different making an animated film than not.
The cost isn't necessarily as high and doesn't have the same time constraints. Physics
or setting constraints, right?
Yeah, physics.
You don't like how something looks, redraw it or whatever.
Substitute your own, like I do with my reality. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe we can take a look at this. For me, I'm not much of a mythology, history aficionado anymore. I used to be, but it might be an entertaining story and keep me coming back, but I don't know. All right. I like this. I don't know. The stories are largely built off of the history stories of mythology, right? So you can't deviate too far.
Right. If you do, then you're going to get people bent out of shape that have any mythology knowledge.
Right. All right. Well, that'll be it for today's. What?
Well, you said there was a bonus.
I know, but see, you threw an error message at me, and I hadn't gotten there yet. I said that it's going to be it for our regular show, but Apple is going to make 3 classic Peanuts specials free to stream. And when you click the button, it takes you over to Engadget, and it says you don't even need an Apple TV subscription to watch them. I think this is like the first time that I've heard that you didn't have to have an Apple TV. So Danny Gallagher put the article together. It's over at Engadget, and it is that time of year when the Peanuts trifecta of movies comes out. Usually it's on a DVD or a VHS tape, and the family gathers around the big tube TV that's been in storage for a year so that you can sit around and watch. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and a Charlie Brown Christmas. But it appears that Apple TV wants everyone to have a chance to enjoy these, so it's making all 3 Peanut specials available to everyone, regardless of whether or not they have an Apple TV subscription. Apple TV will make each of the Peanuts holiday specials available on 2 days each month before Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. It seems really dystopian to do it like that. Only 2 days, you bastards. You have to get in there.
But I think that's more days than it's been in years past. But I agree. Like, maybe have it for a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, just come on. Why beat this one up so much and show just how dystopian you can be? So it's The Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown will be free to stream on October 19th and 20th. The Peanuts Halloween special features Linus waiting up for the return of the Great Pumpkin, while Charlie Brown only gets rocks while trick-or-treating. And then on November 23rd and 24th, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving will be available to stream. It features Peppermint Patty inviting the whole gang to a Thanksgiving feast while Snoopy puts together his own Thanksgiving meal. And a Charlie Brown Christmas will stream for free on December 14th and 15th. The most famous Peanut special with too many iconic moments to count, from Snoopy's prize-winning holiday display to that sad little tree, that the gang turn into a mighty Christmas tree just by waving their arms around it. So there you go, all 3 of them, and I'm lucky to have already purchased them a long time ago, so they're in the inventory forever. Well, at least until the licensing terms change, because you don't actually own.
Right, we don't really own it, as we found out in, well, we already knew that, but we've also reported on that in articles.
Time and time again, folks. You own nothing in digital format. It's a license to consume. And now California is stepping up to say you can't tell people you're buying anything unless you're actually owning it, and you're not owning anything. It's a license to consume. That's going to be a really big button on all of the websites. I'm getting a license to consume. Yeah. You can count on that just being added to the terms of service. All right, folks. Well, we're going to reboot our Apple TV, and that's going to bring us back to the front page of the continuity report in downtown ohmTown. So go over and hang out, become a citizen, and you can, hide articles that you don't want to see and save articles that you want to save. And you can actually do that in different ways inside ohmTown.com. But the front page in particular is really neat because you can swipe things away and categorize them right under here. Ignored articles and saved articles. Fun little feature. Anyway, that's it for tonight's continuity report. I am Mayor Watt, and the Sentient AI is going to say bye.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for the continuity report, and be sure to let us know what you think of this new format. Be back tomorrow for more shows.
That's right. And if you missed it, we're doing 30-minute shows now, and then all of the articles that were submitted for evaluation for inclusion in the top 5. This is the 5 that we've chosen. We're only going to do 5 now, and it'll be 30-minute shows approximately. But then over in the Patreon, we're going to put the list of all of the articles that we've selected or were submitted, and then the 5 that we selected will be there as well as over on YouTube, where the show notes of the 5 will be included there. We don't put the show notes over on Twitch because Twitch deletes all of the content every 60 days. The older article or the older VODs are thrown into the mulching machine, as only Twitch can do. So love streaming to Twitch, but man, it hurts to watch, an hour show disappear. And then on weekends,
Get
7
with the
hours.
program, Twitch.
Or 8 hours on the weekends. So anyway, that's it. See you tomorrow, and hope to see you over on YouTube and Patreon and Discord. And I'll be chopping up all of the VODs for TikTok again, and so on and so forth. So yeah, see you later. Bye.